Hello, today I want to talk to you about By Order of the Queen. I would not call this a review because I barely played it once. There's not going to be an overview looking at the board because quite frankly I do not want to waste the time doing it. That seems harsh because as you can see the game looks amazing, the artwork is phenomenal, the components are great, the insert is great, but when it came to the game I was just bored, and the main reason I was bored was because of too much luck based on dice rolling where you need to get a 5 or 6. The only real mitigation being adding dice or re-rolling one of the dice once for every Queen's Favour token you had. The main objectives to try and win take too long to get anywhere on. You've got to get 8 successes on the Queen, and that just happens so slowly, and you actually get blocked off from doing it after a round. After someone's done it, and you have to wait for an event phase to do it again. Everything on its own sort of sounds like it would work, but it doesn't. It's just boring. I had a problem reading the rulebook with this. I sat down to read it and I can never get through it. It was such a slog. It was messy. It repeated things. There's a key idea about the location cards that for a couple of things you're going to have to resolve location cards. For quests and the Queen's Quest, you're going to have to resolve location cards. Being as they're so main, I think they should have just done one thing about this is how you resolve a location card, not muddy the water with it being kind of half said a couple of times, then said in a funny place, and the order and the layout is just awful. The location cards themselves, being as they're so key, basically on the back they have 3 attributes, and you all have characters in your hand, heroes, that you want to play trying to match up to these attributes. But then those attributes might not be on the other side, it's just a guide, a rough guide. And the first time I did it, there was an attribute I hadn't even counted for because I wasn't told to. And that's fine, I guess, if it happens every now and again, but when it starts happening every time, it gets a bit annoying. But basically, you're looking to get as many of those attributes as you can, whilst trying to have a good range of types of fighter, because if it happens to be a combat resolution, then you need to roll a dice for every type of fighter you have. You can only play 4, you roll as many dice as you have icons, and you're trying to get 5 or 6, and that's it. But what icon you need to roll is hidden under the flavour text, and the flavour text, particularly if you're doing a Queen's Quest, has no limit, no relation or no bearing on what the Queen's Quest is. So the Queen's Quest might say go and do this, and then you get there and it starts banging on about flood. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know there was. What's going on? And in the end we just stopped reading it. But that really obscures the icon behind it, and it just seems like a terrible design idea. If you fail the location quest, which you often do, it has no bearing apart from punishing you instead of rewarding you, but you still get to keep that as claimed. It was just such a frustrating experience. Never before have I had to have the rules so close for such a simple game. Merchants of Araby was another game where I struggled with the rules, but I could see there was mechanics there I was going to enjoy, and in here I was never sure. And when I got it to the table, it just proved to be the case. There's very little player interaction, and considering this is a co-op, that's a crime. I can't go, right, can I swap cards with you? Can I take on one of your fighters on this mission? Have you got one that would suit it better? Can you add me a dice or use your power to re-roll? There's none of that. You just do your own stuff, you go to the next person. It may as well be competitive. In fact, there'd be a high amount of chance for screwing each other over in this game by leaving stuff for them to do, and that would have worked better in my opinion. Unlike other co-op games where you need to work together. In this, you can't work together. You can just say, well, I'll do this, you do that, we'll see what happens. Are you keeping on track of that? There's 3 different threat tracks, which seems like, and again, I really like the idea that they punish you in different ways, but trying to control all 3 of them and do a Queen card and do quests and control the monsters in 4 turns before any of those things start to punish you, because there's an event phase every 4 turns. No. So, unfortunately, I wouldn't call it a review, but my thoughts are I will not be playing this game again. I would not inflict it on children. It says 10 plus. I mean, and it says 90 to 120 minutes. It felt, we didn't even finish a game, it felt longer than both of those times put together. So unfortunately, despite the lovely looks, By Order of the Queen is a game that I cannot recommend. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We'll see you next time.